Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, with my amazing co-host, Tanya. How are you feeling today, Tanya?
Oh, there's a lot. We'll just get to it. Oh my gosh.
Just get to it. But before we do so, please do us a favor and subscribe. Just become part of our Bachelor, Bachelorette, our nation, where we just chat ad nauseum about how ridiculous this season actually is. So starting with this ridiculousness, it was titled The Men's Tell All, but it actually had a little bit of an episode within it that I wasn't really expecting. So it begins off with Katie and Tashia going for a walk, and she's feeling confident about her final 4 guys, and if you feel it, say it. Just like Tasha's giving her some of this advice or whatever. And then that all this advice is coming because you see now Michael A. with his son on a phone. So I know you probably have a lot of things to say about this. What were your feelings about the beginning of this episode? Tell all.
I was happy to finally get the context of the call with his son James, leading up to that defining moment. But I think where I'm at with this and with Michael in general is, as a character on this show, okay, so everyone's a real person, and then everyone's like a character on the show, and then the truth is probably somewhere between those two things. I don't understand if he's actually genuine in any way. At times he's got me. Because I do think it would be hard to hear that coming from your kid. I do think that you would feel conflicted. But at the same time, I'm like, you did choose to go on the show with a kid. And I get that they probably promised that you'll be able to talk to them a bunch and then not let you talk to them for more than 2 minutes and definitely try and manipulate. But why did you wait till now to go? If not to continue to build to some kind of future storyline or trying to play for the lead, because
he's playing for the lead in my opinion.
Fantasy, right? So I get that he's kind of convincing sometimes though.
I mean, I'm not really down with the Michael A. narrative, even though he's the last member of my team. I don't even care. Hi, B. Bean. What was that mess of an episode? We'll talk about it, but it just was garbage, I thought. So with the Michael A. of it all, I think that he had to bow out now in order for him to be in contention to be the next Bachelor, because it just doesn't make any sense. When he actually goes and talks to Katie, Katie's like, I saw you there at the end, and he just So if he was really in it for Katie at this point, and really he'd be like, oh my God, I'm missing out on the love of my life here. What if I had to say for 1 week, say to Katie, can we actually bring James here? Can we do something? Because I'm missing my son so much. But if you really see it being me at the end, I can't give that up, because why did I come here in the first place? No matter what, you still have put your son through these 2 months of being away, and then you're coming back without having a partner. Was it worth it then? Right? Well, it would be worth it if he's now the Bachelor. Right?
Yeah. No, definitely. But they made this point on Game of Roses, and I thought it while we were watching, which is if you're playing to be the Bachelor or to be on this franchise, and you're saying, oh my God, I can't be away from my child, then you're hedging your bets on the fact that they're going to go full Jason Mesnick with you and bring your kid on the season with you. Because otherwise, you're just magically next season, you're fine being away from your kid. So I'm really, is that what we're going to do? I don't really want to watch that personally. I'm not interested at all in a lead season of him, to be honest.
Not at all. I mean, not at all. He looks a lot better with the Men Tell All portion with the beard grown in. He does look more, in my opinion, attractive. But I thought he had some great lines for a nice Valentine's Day card,
for your future screenplay, maybe.
Yes, I mean, I'm not even joking, because it's been in my brain. I've been thinking about like, okay, how can I bring in all these tropes that I know and make like an epic like romantic comedy? But I mean, I like what he had to say, like, you know, he can fall in love twice and all those little buzz phrases that he used. But he actually doesn't really have any substance. Like, do we know anything about him? What does he do for a living? I don't even know where he lives. I can't remember where he lives. I don't know how old he is. I can't remember.
I think he's 37. Isn't he like
older? 36. That's right. Maybe he turned 37. But he's a Taurus, was he? But anyways, like, what else do we know about him, though? We know that, like, he says the right things with the guys. Like, aren't we so excited that we get to be here with Katie? Oh, my God, we get to have with Katie. Oh, my goodness, Katie's so amazing. Like, we're just so lucky. And he probably already knew that he was going to be the Bachelor. And he's just like, I just need to make it look like I like her so much so people can think that I'm so great. And so that I can just bow out and leave right before hometowns so that it'll look like, you know, this love story that never got to be complete. So we still want to be on his journey for love. And then he can come back and be like, I'm still unrequited love, not with Katie, but with somebody new. With someone. So I'm bored of it already. I'm not interested to see him having those conversations with every single person like for 2.5 months.
I also think I think they edit him to be a little bit more sad seeming, or like a little bit more like, you know, like, oh, I'm just like trying to find, like he always has like these eyes, like, you know, like puppy eyes. And it's like, I think they play that up to make him seem that way more. So I'm sure he's not that ridiculous, but then he turns around and like gives her these lines, or like when he's giving her the watch, that was so cheesy. Like him gifting her back the stopwatch. I was like, oh my goodness, Nicholas Sparks, like movie is what's occurring. So yeah, I don't really buy that it's not for a play. And I feel like the producers are like, okay, well, he's one of our main options right now.
This is it. No, I think they're grooming him for it though. They're like, okay, if you want to be it, you're going to have to break up with Katie, figure out a way to do it. So he gets his parents to be like, go say to James, maybe daddy left because he doesn't want to see you. Say that to daddy right now. Maybe daddy left because he doesn't want to see me. James, don't say that. James, don't say that. Bye, daddy. Bye. Like, it was too much. I didn't believe it. It didn't get my heartstrings, but I could because of just being like jaded.
The producer hugging him.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, and did you notice this? That it was like a black woman. I was like, that's a strategic producer that's like, there.
Why are you showing this producer?
A black woman ever in the producer part whenever they're like hugging or having like a little conversation. So I thought that was interesting.
And they chose to show that like producer moment. I was just like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. They're insulting our intelligence. That's the theme for the Men Tell All, insulting our intelligence.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. I wrote like, hug the producer? Whatever. She's black? Oh my God. So contrived.
It's too much. They're so shameless. Funny. They are shameless. And if his son really did say that, they're ridiculous. Like, oh God. Not his son, like the producers for presenting it that way. Oh my goodness.
Right? I was wondering how a 3-year-old put a complex sentence together like that. LOL. I know. It's like, Daddy, I cannot believe that you would put my feelings aside and not, like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't seem like something that a kid would say. And how he said it, it didn't seem like how, like, my niece and nephew are 3 years old. And if I wanted them to say that sentence, they wouldn't say it. They would say it like this kid if I was told them to say it, because they wouldn't have any meaning behind it because they were feeling it, and that's not the sentence that would come out of their mouth. Like,
and furthermore, sorry. No,
I was just gonna say, finish first. For me, with my niece and nephew, my one, like the niece, if I haven't seen her in a long time, she just ignores me, and she's like,
yeah.
She doesn't be like, you don't want to see me anymore. Like, she just ignores me. That's it. And that's kind of usually what kids do when they're like, I can't believe that I haven't seen you in a long time. So the fact that he has this like vocabulary of like a 6-year-old or an 8-year-old was, I thought, telling for sure.
Okay, it's such a, like, I was just going to say, it's also, they're laying it on so thick because they obviously cut this segment to show us so that Michael could be at the special, so that he could have a hot seat, which is like Bachelor auditions. So like,
Don't even kill me.
It's just, ugh. And if the top two options, we'll get to option number 2 being Andrew, who I think at this point will be another Matt James situation. These are terrible options for the lead, like terrible. They're gonna have to source somebody else. Like this is.
I know this is a hot take. You probably don't agree with me, but I think that Thomas would be a better Bachelor.
I actually agree with you. After this episode, I agree with you. I think Thomas would be a better Bachelor than the two options. I've come full circle for this at this point. Like, I'm just like, yep, I agree.
It's kind of like
Thomas was real.
The Nick Viall of it all. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't love Nick Viall beforehand. I didn't mind his Bachelor season as much as I thought I was going to mind it.
Mm-hmm. I liked him as the lead. Like, he was entertaining.
Exactly. And like he's like normal, and you could tell that he gets girls. Like the Michael of it all, I don't see him getting all the women. You know, he's only been in that one relationship really that was long term, and you know, fortunately his wife passed away and now he's with Katie, and I don't know if he's dated intermittently. But like I don't know if he knows how to juggle all these women. I just think it was just gonna be like a cry fest. I'm sorry, like I'm not down with like his vibe. I'm sorry, Bachelor Nation. I'm not that into Michael A. Now, Andrew, he's still a little bit young. He's 26. And I think that he would be an okay Bachelor, but I don't know if he's going to be that entertaining. He's just kind of a nice guy. And I'd like to see him more than Michael A. I think that his season would be more interesting because he has a bit better, in my opinion, like conversation, better chat. But I think if I were to put Thomas in the ring, I think Thomas would be the best out of all of them because
I would be way more into that option.
Wouldn't you watch it?
Andrew, I've just been like kind of like side eyeing since the one-on-one dinner that he had with Katie. I was just like feeling kind of weird about like the way he was so into her, and then tonight when he says the man you've created me to be to Katie, I was like, oh no, you actually don't understand. Like, you don't understand what's going on. Like, you're Katie helped you created you as a man. And what does that even mean?
I mean, I think what does that mean? I remember thinking, just being like, he's just trying to sound like she's this amazing woman. So it's part of his audition. And he's, trying to show how amazing Katie is, and like he stands behind her decision, and she really changed him and made him understand what true love was. Like he's your face. And I think that he practiced what he was saying there. Like I don't think it was heartfelt. I don't think that he really believes these things. But I think he thinks it's the right thing for him to say. Like, I think it would have been more excited for me if he was like, it's funny that you let me go, and then your number 4 person is leaving the show. Like, I wouldn't have left you there. I would have allowed you to see my family and get to know you a little bit better. So, whatever, Katie. Before with the Katie and Tashia, when they went for a walk, she does mention that she told multiple men that she loved them. And so Katie was probably also feeling that she's going to say, I love you to more than one person. I'm thinking Blake and Greg here. And she said that Zach wasn't her strongest connection, which I thought was interesting. We knew that. Remember, we were just kind of like, is she like him? And then all of a sudden she really liked him a lot. But like beforehand, we didn't even realize that he was a front runner. So that was interesting, I thought, about their conversation. Okay, so just to end off the Michael A. visiting Katie, even the line, I'm still like rolling my eyes so much that like my eyes are hurting, is that I'm going to go home because my little boy needs his dad. A little boy needs his dad. Like, what, your little boy didn't need his dad for the last 2 months? And your little boy would be okay with that if you came back with a mother figure for your son. So I thought that it was just all annoyed me.
It's all lines. These are movie lines. They're like things that you say in romantic films. They're just not things that people say. I don't know. I would just be like, I gotta go see my son now. Like, I wouldn't say, oh, there's a little boy out there that needs me. Like, what? Maybe that's why James speaks the way he speaks. This is the way Michael speaks.
There's no way that a 3-year-old is going to be like, my daddy left because he doesn't want to see me.
It doesn't want to hang out with me anymore.
Doesn't want it. Daddy, bye. Michael A to Katie and Code. I'm just not that into you. No, I think it's Michael A in Kate to Katie and Code. I just want to be the Bachelor more than be dumped by you at Final 2.
Oh, absolutely. I think she was so like, yeah, I'm ready to be a stepmom. And he was like, really? Okay.
And like, she's always like, oh,
she
James,
was so
James.
confident about it. Like, he's like, she's worried about meeting his parents. I'm like, what? I don't see this. I don't see the connection being that way.
Sorry. And then the last one of his lines, which is like another eye roll, is, you taught me how to love again. Shut up. I'm just like, no, you didn't.
How is Katie teaching all these people these things?
Just like, to me, she's teaching me how to like not want to watch The Bachelor anymore.
She taught you guys, what did you learn? Like, I'm so confused. Some of you barely spoke to her. Barely. So I don't understand how she changed you as people in this brief time. But okay. Her impact apparently is just beyond.
Wow. Yes. So, okay. What did you think about Katie's perfect black tears? Like, okay. I don't know if I'm just really good at crying with makeup on, but I could be fully like, like fully crying with a full face of makeup. And you could maybe see the streak marks on like you know, my foundation or anything like that. But I've never, ever had black like tears forming unless I made it happen. Unless I was doing it for a Halloween costume or like something specific. Like, it's almost impossible to just be like naturally crying and have like perfect like black tears.
That's the Lauren Conrad special. The hills cry, the mascara tears.
But like, you have to well your eyes up to make that happen. Like, it's not really a natural tear thing that, from my experience, have you been able to do that?
No, God, no. I think a lot of people were really pushing for tears this episode as well. Mm-hmm. Caitlin was struggling to cry a single tear. It's just...
BB, you're only starting to blend out. You're not bugging with Michael is shoveling. No.
What would give you that impression?
Like, okay, what are we gonna do? We need to do something if it's ever announced that he's the Bachelor. Like,
I cannot commit to. I would like to watch Michelle's season because I want to support her, but I'm really on the fence about watching the next Bachelor season. Honestly, I'm like,
I don't know if I could cover it, to be very honest, because it's not somebody that's good or like interesting in a way that I think it's going to be interesting.
I'm with you. That's how I feel too. I'm just like, I actually like don't even want to spend the time on it at all. Like, not even from a hate watch perspective. I'm just like,
I've seen every season, so I will have to watch it, but covering it, I don't know if I can cover an entire season of Michael A.
No.
I think, anyways, it's like a year from now, but like, just to know, like, if I decide in the end, be like, hey, do you want to do it? Like, just remind me that I really don't. Like,
hopefully Paradise brings us some different candidates or something. But yes, I'm with you. This is the pact. This is the truth. If it's Michael, we're not doing it. I'm sorry. We have to draw the line somewhere. Like, we just covered this, and like, even that was a stretch, you know? Because Katie's...
I know. Well, my mom, I was telling you, she's like, was on board with us, just kind of like we were the first couple episodes. We're like, this is going to be good. This is great. She's a little bit different. And slowly it's just been like, into like our enjoyment of the season. And my mom's like, I just want to see Justin's family. And after we see his family, because he's probably going to be dumped at the final 4 or final 3 at this point. And then she's out. She's like, I'm not watching the ending. I don't care. And so for like an older woman that's just like watching the show for like not for no purpose other than entertainment, to be so checked out that she's willing to not see what happens, that's dropping the ball, ABC, big time. Big time. All right, so that's pretty much how the pre-Mentel segment ends with Katie's perfect black tears. At the Men's Tell All, I love Tasha's braids. I thought they looked really good. And I felt that both Tashia and Caitlin did a pretty good job with like hosting this, the Men's Tell All. It wasn't as serious, definitely, as Emmanuel Acho, which was cool. But I liked it. I thought it was enjoyable, them being the host there. Understood. They are starting to be cookie cutter repetitive seasons, but like cookie cutter and not even like the good stuff that's cookie cutter. Like we got to get rid of all these tropes. I'm so done. I don't care if you're there for the wrong reasons. Stay there. Like I don't want these witch hunts. I don't want this group think. I just want people to focus on their damn relationship with Katie and not worried if the other man is like not into her or not there for the right reasons. It doesn't matter. And I think that all these witch hunts took away from me getting to know Katie more, getting to know any of these men. So I care. I don't care because a lot of it was focused on conversations about them pushing the narrative of somebody being a bad guy. And that it's tiresome. It's whack.
Absolutely.
So, okay, what do you think then of the reason behind why Aaron dislikes Cody? With the post that was made on social media, I'll be famous in 6 months. And this was before he went on The Bachelorette. Is this a reason to have him kicked off the show and he cannot be there for love?
I think it's rich because Aaron and Katie had zero connection whatsoever, and he clearly didn't care about winning the show. But that seems to have been a hard line for him from the beginning. It was on Karl, he was on Thomas, he was on all of these people, on Hunter. So he's, if anything, consistent about how he feels, which is that he doesn't like anybody there, that it admits that they're not there for the right reason. So whatever. This whole interaction was ridiculous.
That's all I wrote down for it, because I was like, who cares? Like, what's the context of the text or the post? Like, was it in reference to something? Was it like, was it an affirmation? Like, what was it? And like, you're allowed to want to be famous. Like, you're allowed to have that be something that might be in your path. Look at all these Oscar winners and such, as when they're 5 years old, they're pretending to have an Oscar in the mirror and be like, I'm going to be famous one day. Like, I want to win an Oscar. Like, it's part of some people's life path and what people want. And so the fact that also he's diminishing what people want, that doesn't necessarily have to coincide with The Bachelorette. It doesn't.
And that all of these people weren't considering being on the show for the capacity of like gaining some level of attention, obviously. Because maybe he's been applying to 10,000 reality shows. Maybe he's trying to get on all these things. Like, probably, who cares? And maybe he wasn't even referring to this, but even if he was, like, whatever. But in Bachelor world, that's a person that you can pile on or kind of try and get out. So it takes away. And that conflict kept Aaron in the game way longer than he probably would have stayed if he hadn't been protecting Katie against all these guys that weren't there. Yeah.
I mean, like, to me, I think I said this probably many times before, but if I was the lead of a show and they were coming to me with this kind of news, I'd be like, I'm sorry, you're a loser. You got to go. I don't care about that. The fact that you care about that more than you care about like having really good conversations with me and learning more about me and like really us connecting on a personal level. You really want to warn me about some guy that like I'm smart enough to figure it out. I am. And if I don't figure it out, that's the way that this was supposed to go. Like, I don't know. It's just this whole idea that like they're coming in to save her. But it also just tells her that they think she's stupid. Like, you think she's dumb enough to not be able to see through people that are not there for the right reasons or there for her. So, I don't know. I would be offended slightly and would be like, next, you're not sticking around anymore because I'm not interested in that drama at all. So what about Karl calling out Brendon from Canada, saying that he just wanted a free trip to America? That's why he was
to drink beer. Sorry if I'm looking off screen. I'm just responding to something work related. So my apologies if I look off screen. He just wanted to go to America to drink beers, was what he said, which I was like, probably. Brendon really, I think, had a very poor showing in this episode. He came across not good. Like, he was saying fake news all the time and like using this lingo that we've gotten way past, and just like that interaction with Karl and him was so strange. Like,
I don't know. I got a headache thinking about whatever that was. I was like, huh?
That was so weird. Like, why are you so mad?
I don't know. And so now at this point, though, they have filmed Paradise or not? Like when they recorded the Men Tell All.
Yes.
So maybe Karl's like feeling himself because like he's been on Paradise now too. Because I don't think Brendon's on it, right?
Brendon is, I don't think, on Paradise.
I don't think
At
so.
least not that's been announced, but has he been announced? No.
I don't think so. Okay, so I like Trey up until like the last few episodes when he was on the witch hunt for people. And so Trey being so indignant and being like, I was 100% there for Katie's heart. Like, you can't say that I wasn't 100% there for Katie's heart. I can say that because there's no way that you knew that you were going to like her. Like, so you had to be going on the show for other reasons because you don't know if you're going to like this woman. And it's a television show. It's not like I signed up for Bumble and I'm going to go on a blind date with somebody at my corner like restaurant. No, it's on a national TV show where you know who this girl is potentially, and you're going on to meet her. It's not just for Katie that you're coming on. It's just impossible. And I was just like, the fact that he's just doubling down, I'm like, well, if you're only coming on this show specifically for Katie, then I think that you're a ding dong. You're an idiot.
And also, you guys sang about bromance together in one of the cringiest moments of the year. So yeah, you seem to just care about being friends with each other more than dating Katie, really. Like, it seems like you guys are just all chilling. So sure, Trey. Like, why are you so invested in this? I don't understand. Did Katie change you as a man as well? Or
yes,
create a man out of you?
Turned him into like an annoying tattletale. like I don't know. They're just what she brought out for me in these men are the type of men that I'm completely repulsed by. Like, I'm just like, whoa. Like, Justin hasn't really fed into it that much, so I'm like, okay, I can still crush on you, Justin. But like everybody else is like, oh my God, you changed me. Oh my God, Katie, you're the best. Like, and I'm like, Katie, I gotta tell you what's happening in the house. I'm here to protect you. I'm like, ooh, these good guys are just like, this is not my vibe. So people thought Canadians were nice. I didn't think Brendon was that mean. I think he was just a little bit dumb.
Yeah, he had really bad comebacks. Like, he just kept repeating himself and kind of getting flustered, but just like committing to standing up to Karl for some reason.
Storyline for like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't remember who I was writing this about, but Aaron thinks that he's a bad guy. So who was the he? Brendon, or was it Karl or Thomas? Probably Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron thinks a lot of people are bad guys, so whatever.
He hates everyone.
So Conor, though, decides to stand in and stand up for Hunter and vouches. It must have been Hunter. Vouches for the fact that he was falling in love with Katie, because they're all saying like, you changed your story and you said this, and then you said that. It's like, who cares? Like, it's nerve-wracking to speak your mind. Like, even doing this sometimes, I don't say exactly what I mean. It doesn't come out exactly right. And sometimes I go and correct myself, being like, oh, I misspoke, or I said this. So if you're talking about, like, your feelings on national television and some guys are confronting you about your feelings and you don't know really what you want to say, are they going to use this again? Like, there's a lot of things going on. So I'm giving Hunter a pass on how he reacted when being ambushed by the guys, it being different than when he's been composed and delivering it in front of the queens. So whatever.
Yeah. I don't think Hunter was in love with falling in love with Katie.
I don't.
But
really
I also
either,
think
but who cares?
I think Hunter is probably not as bad as they tried to push.
Well, this is the thing, is that at that point, I was like, I like Hunter better than most of you guys right now.
He's not been really like rising to the pettiness that a lot of them have in terms of the conflict. And he's kind of just been like, okay, well, I'm me, you're you. Other than like him being super aggressive, which was off-putting in that challenge that they did, which I was just like, that episode was really wild for him. But then like when they all ganged up against him, he was just like mature, and he doesn't seem to be that, out there. So I'm going to give Hunter the benefit of the doubt here and not think that he's a bad guy. Like,
I don't think he's a bad guy. I think that they just made a witch hunt, and then every single thing that he says is going to be evidence that he's a bad guy. And I don't even care if he is or if he isn't.
Exactly.
Phoebe says, yes, Katie must be powerful. She transformed all their lives, apparently. Right?
Yep.
Come on. I don't even think she's going to end up with somebody in the end. But I did see that there was like a spoiler moment, I don't know. But there was, I think it was at this taping of the Men Tell All, she was hugging, or like in a picture where she was hugging some guy, and there's a picture with her left hand with a wedding ring on it, and then that was removed from social media. You want to say something?
No, she has the engagement ring on, so it appears that she gets engaged. Spoiler, potentially.
Potentially, or like maybe she's wearing something on that finger, or maybe it's a promise ring,
Maybe. With her, it might be.
James definitely stands by his disdain for Hunter. I'm like, who's James? Like, go back in the box. Go back in the box, James. Go back in the box.
These guys are really not doing well in this appearance.
No. So we get Conor in the hot seat, and when I do I'll do a tally at least for the final episode to see how much you demolished me in this draft. But we will give you 5 points for Conor getting a hot seat here. And then you should probably get more points for this ridiculous segment where he went around and asked people in his life to see whether or not he was a good kisser, and they all came back and said that he was good. And then there was an audience member that really needed to go and talk to him and tell him that he's a good kisser. And then they do kiss on scene. And the kiss doesn't even look good. The kiss looked gross. You're shaking your head. What's happening there? What's happening?
This is exactly what I mean when I say they insult our intelligence. Like, while watching this segment, you are already like, ugh, like, why are we covering this and why are we doing this? Like, this like sad sack, bad kisser, womp womp storyline, which I do not like, that he's feeding into and loves, clearly. And then you've cast this woman, a singer with 15,000 Instagram followers, to go kiss this guy in a gross kiss that is not appealing, while all the other men stand and holler and cheer. And we're supposed to act like this was spontaneous. And then my guy gives her the rose off the table. I'm done. Like, I am done with this. This was so rude. Rude.
I'm going to read you the casting notice for this. Okay.
Please. Like,
hello.
Obvious.
This is from Central Casting. Hello. Production is looking for a couple women who may be comfortable to speak on the show. The scenario would be as follows. One of the guy cast members was accused of being a bad kisser on the show. At the end of the segment with him, a young, attractive woman, possibly you, from the audience would stand up and say something to the effect of, I saw your kissing on the show. I think you're very cute, and I know that you're not a bad kisser. I would love to put that theory to a test right now. The woman then either come down onto the stage and kiss the guy, or he would respectfully decline and perhaps accept a hug instead. I don't know if this is real. Would you be possibly comfortable doing this? So I don't know if this was real or not, or if it's actually just Bachelor scoop, like trolling.
I mean,
but it
was definitely cast. It was definitely cast, like 100%.
Like, you know, they're saying like, I refuse to believe these two people don't know each other. So she was cast. They probably met beforehand. This is our bit. Like, do you want to practice kissing now? Or do you want it to be spontaneous? It'll be spontaneous. Like, okay, make sure you put some mouthwash in. Are you double backs? Okay, great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's probably what it is. She probably got paid a day
it's
rate.
COVID. Like, it's just like a COVID kissing strangers. Like, what the hell?
She probably got special abilities rate, you know? So she probably got paid about a couple of grand for doing that little bit. And maybe they'll date after, but probably not.
Do you want to hear my far-fetched theory that I'm just going to throw out there? So, like, bear with me. If they ever decide to do another season of Bachelor Listen to Your Heart, there's your first two contestants that are going to be on that show and the love story that you're going to watch.
Whoa! I'm mind blown right now.
If they ever decide to do it again.
Mind blown. Because this is perfect of planting them in there for us for now, for them to be the front runners of that particular season. Because he's a musician. Sing one more song at the end of this. And wouldn't we want to see if they have a love story and put out a record, go on tour together, and they met spontaneously in the audience of The Bachelorette?
Yep. And she gains followers. She gained 5,000 followers from this appearance. So she has 20,000 followers now for her music career. Like, I actually don't blame her for doing this because, you know what? You're going to get some random exposure. So she was selling it. And if she was down to do that, then get those followers, Tara, like, live your life. But I just think this potentially, it feels like they want Conor to be this character in the world. They've invested a lot of time in him and a lot of effort. Could be because maybe in Paradise he has an exciting storyline. I don't really know. But I find it hard to believe that they wouldn't take these two musicians and milk this in some way if they ever decide to do that show again. I don't know if they will do that show again. Was it even successful? But
well, it would have been more successful if they didn't get to go on tour before they broke up. So
true. And then COVID happened, I think, as well. Yeah. So they couldn't
that's what I'm saying. They couldn't go on tour because of COVID. They never. And I think that its show aired right at the beginning of COVID. So like February to like March, April, or something like that. So their season got screwed in the sense that they didn't get to live through the exposure of that. So I don't think it's a flop because people did watch it. And I'm more into that show than The Bachelor right now. I'll watch Listen to Your Heart and cover that over covering The Bachelor.
Missed opportunity to not cast some of those people on Bachelor in Paradise, honestly. Natasha? Queen. I would love to see her there.
You know, like with her doing that,
having to see her there,
her music video and all that stuff. Like she might be too. And is she still dating the guy or no? Do we know?
I have no idea. I don't think so.
They were dating for a while though. They were.
Well,
talking about they just love each other. Okay, so BB wants to know how much would it take for each of us to answer that call sheet? 1,000 to 10 or 10,000. Let me think realistically. If I saw the breakdown, and it was like a self-submission because our agents would ask us like, okay, do you want me to submit you for this? It would have to be, I'd probably do it for $5,000. Yeah, I'd do it for $5,000. Go to the casting.
I wouldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I would, if I'm me, Tanya, like myself, and I'm not trying to gain exposure, I just don't do it because this is a setup for failure. Like, there's no way that you can deliver this well. Like, it's so awkward the way they do it. They make you stand and do this, and then you have to kiss him as well. And like, I don't know that I want to be filmed kissing someone in that capacity. Like the way that that's set up, I just like don't. I feel like it's bad. Like it's not good. So I just wouldn't be able to do it.
Do you think that like part of the casting would be like showing them clips of him kissing and be like, do you think that you could say that you would enjoy this kiss and that you think that could you say this believably with having this as your reference point?
I can't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't.
I mean, I think I could do it for $5,000 and because it would just be trolling and I think it'd be like I'd be like, because like I have some friends of mine that love to see any of the silly acting things that I do because it's just so embarrassing. So the fact that this would be so embarrassing, like, is also hilarious. So I would do it to troll myself, basically.
Yeah, you pull a Michelle Nash and just troll it to the max, because I know that that's what she would do, and I feel like that would sell it. But some people stand everything to gain, like our friend Tara here, and some people stand everything to lose, like me. So I just can't.
I mean, I say this now though, but like if I actually saw it and be like, "Ooh, for the Bachelor," ugh, like this is weird. But I'd probably answer just to see what would happen. I would like to see like go through the process. Like, how do you audition people for this? Do you have to practice kissing anybody? Like, do you get a line to deliver specifically? Like, yeah. So I would be interested just to see what the next stages would be for this. And for her though, this could be getting her into Bachelor Nation, right? So what if she's like the lead that, you know, coming up, like, where's Tara? We need Tara to find love. Like, who knows?
Anything's possible.
I think it's a good move, personally.
I think on her performance, she'd be a better lead than Michael or Andrew. So.
I feel like I know Katie more. I feel like I know her more than Katie. Like, Tara, like I've learned more about Tara in this moment than I know from Katie in the last 2 months. Like,
yeah, she did it. Good. She really went for it.
I hated the one more for the road part. Like, Conor, like this, like they're making fun of you, and if you're a bad kisser, you'd still say you're a good kisser. So, like, I would just hop off this train. But
oh my god.
Wait, and I put this in quotes though. You're a tiger? Did he say that to her, to Tara?
I think so. And he also says repeatedly that I was checking you out.
Yeah, I was checking you out too. I'm like, oh my god, you guys are checking each other out, and then you're gonna come over and you're gonna kiss them. It's so spontaneous. Like,
yeah, Caitlin. You were checking to see who you were gonna have to kiss, Tara. That's what you were
like,
checking.
Oh my god, is it now? Is this my time to have to go?
Oh my god, which one? Which one of these 20 guys?
Mic'd up? So yeah, you're a tiger. He says it to her and gives her a rose. Blech. So Andrew's in the hot seat. That's all I wrote. We learned that she changed him. I didn't care enough for what he had to say. I wasn't fully invested. Do you have anything else to add to the Andrew hot seat segment? You get 5 points.
He's not offering me
good
vibes right now. Yeah, no.
Hey, Tamika, we are just complaining about the Men Tell All. We're pretty much almost done. But what did you think about the Conor kiss? And do you mind saying your prediction for Tara and Conor, just so Tamika can get up to page with what you are proposing will happen?
Oh, yeah. So, Tamika, what I'm saying is, like, big picture, the setup from Tara and Conor's segment is that they would be the first 2 leads on whenever the next season of Bachelor Listen to Your Heart happens, as 2 musicians, you know? So
right. So Tara, we've learned, is a musician. Did we learn it on the show, or did you just do some extra research? Because you're
no, it says checked out her Instagram because he tagged her in. Oh, well, you know what? That's probably for the best.
Tamika, let me just tell you exactly what happened then. So Conor, in a segment, he goes and he's in the hot seat and he's talking to Tashia and Caitlin and saying that, like, he went and he had to go and ask some of his, like, people that he's kissed in the past whether or not he was a good kisser, and they all said that he was fine. And then they had somebody in the audience that was a plant, because I just read, I'll send it to you later, there was a casting call looking for someone that would kiss somebody on the show. And so she gets up in the audience and goes like, I've seen you and I think that you'd be an amazing kisser. And she kisses him, and then she joins him up in the hot seat, and he gives her a rose and he kisses her again. And they are acting like they're a couple. So isn't he going to be on BIP? Is Conor? Probably. I think he is. Yeah.
He is. Yeah. It's not great.
BIP is done filming already, though, if we were deducing. So
yes.
So yeah, exactly. Lord is right. Like it was a mess. It was awkward. It was uncomfortable. And I'm definitely doubling down on Tanya's theory here that these two would be the first two people in the big mansion at Listen to Your Heart season 2. So I'm with you there. Then we see the Michael A segment. I couldn't bear to watch it. But he said one thing that I wrote down was, he's like, so how are you doing, Michael? I'm doing okay.
Oh. That's exact. That's it. That's how he delivers every line. A solemn nod. A teary eye. A watery voice.
Oh God! So
I know.
Okay, so he's not good. If they do listen to your heart, Tanya, you with your idea, you should get royalties. Absolutely. Do you know what though? Like,
please.
We've been talking about it and joking about it a little bit, and you've joked about it quite a little bit more than I have. But I do think that maybe you need to be hired as a producer of one of these shows. I'm not even kidding you. I don't know how to get in there, but I think that you would be an exceptional producer on The Bachelor or a series similar to.
I mean, honestly, I'm torn between that being a dream and a nightmare because I'm like, it feels so morally corrupt to do as a job. And I'm brainwashed by Unreal, where they are just like also like, you know, complicated people or actually like kind of terrible people that I'm like, I just like wouldn't want to do that. But I think I recognize the patterns that they use to do these things. So I'm like able to try. I don't know. Producers might be watching and saying she has no idea, but
like
I don't know. I feel like I understand
you could change the game and make it like ethically more like ethically whatever producer, and you're like, hey guys, they're not that stupid. The audience is not that stupid. Whatever. Like I don't know. I just want to see your voice be heard in this capacity.
I mean, if they do end up doing that, I'm gonna be like, you owe me for sure, because
we can always
book it now. Like that's like a very strong idea for your franchise. You get the crossover of having someone from the main franchise. Come on. You've invested a lot of screen time in this guy for some reason.
Right? Cat guy? Catman?
There was a cat girl in the audience even.
I can't. It's too much. And they're like, when people are just like, oh, we, like, you know, Caitlin and Tashia are not taking this seriously enough. Like, okay, there's a guy dressed up as a cat and there's people dressed up as cats in the audience. Like, where is the seriousness that you're talking about here? Like,
no masks.
I don't know. I wonder how they got around that. Maybe they have like
they tested
shields or shields before. Like, can you take off the shields between takes? Maybe.
Yeah, I guess they probably all had to sign like waivers that were like, if you get COVID, too bad, and then also like maybe a COVID test, maybe.
Well, I think a COVID test would be pretty much 100% because even to do background or extra work nowadays, like you get a COVID test 2 days before and then with the day before. So when I was on set last year, like the end of last year, like I had to have 2 or 3 COVID tests before I did 1 day of shooting. So I think that they would be, and I feel like Americans are even more strict on that than Canadians are. So I think that they'd get COVID tested or have to show that they're double vaxxed or whatnot. So wait, he said that he would get back with Katie. I'm just like, you're just trying to make yourself look so pathetic so that people will want you to be the Bachelor. Like, I can't roll my eyes anymore for you, Michael A. Like, I'm done. I do not want any storylines. I'm gonna have to like unfollow you on Instagram because just even seeing James, I'm sure a lovely son, but like him and James cuddling and it's like, my son. I'm like, no, done with it. I'm just done. Okay, stuff we didn't see. I didn't really pay attention to it. Like, did you?
No, barely. But you're missing one segment.
Is it next? Whoa.
No, not Whoa.
Oh,
the
what's the segment?
footage of Caitlyn and Jason's engagement that they threw in there.
Did I not write that down? Oh, no, it's after. It's next. It's coming out.
Oh, it's after. Sorry. I was like, wait.
Okay. Doesn't matter. So, no, it wasn't. No, there's two. Like, it was stuff we didn't see. And then there's also bloopers. So those are two different things.
Yeah, bloopers are separate. Yeah.
So I don't know what the stuff we didn't see was. I don't remember. They talk about the whoa. It was kind of funny, but this is also part of the Michael A. Like he's the best man because he has a lot of stamina apparently, and he was the only one that wasn't able to complete the whoa task. Like
what?
That's wasn't that what it was? That he has. I don't remember. I thought he was saying that he was the
I
only
think
one
you're
that
probably
couldn't do
right,
it.
but I'm like, didn't Blake put the do not disturb sign on his door?
That means everything, right?
I mean, yeah. No, didn't they also show more scenes from the debate that were actually debates? Like, I wanted to see more of that.
That's the stuff I wish that we had seen.
Yeah.
You don't think that Mike was ever going to let her meet his son? Interesting. I'm wondering if the producers just wasn't going to let that happen because like they didn't want to house him and like, you know, it could become a conflict of interest, you know, having to house a baby or a child and like bring him around. So I'm not sure why the kid wasn't there since it was such a big point in his journey, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it might require vaccine proof and quick COVID tests at the door for each member. Maybe. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. No, not the whoa again. Someone pointed out Tashia has not had an AFR. Oh, yeah.
Especially since that would have been a more satisfying one in that it ended well for her. So
why don't they should have like had it happen with this one. So like the next segment that you already kind of mentioned was we see Jason proposing to Caitlyn on her podcast. I'd already seen this before though. This is pretty old news, like months ago. But like they show the footage of this happening, the proposal. I didn't really watch it just because I've already seen it, and I don't know. What did you care about this segment?
I mean, it was weird to me that it was in there in the sense that I was like, this is like more engaging than all of the other footage that I've seen. So like, that's kind of bad. I feel like they plopped it in there to be like, one, I mean, great promo for her podcast, but two, to be like, remember, like there's love in this franchise. Look, look at these happy endings. Because clearly wherever this is going is like not great. Like, I don't know. And after last season too, like, I don't know. I feel like they need to remind us that the franchise is like successful in some way, even though they're not from the same season. And that's not like how it worked out. There's still romance in the franchise. So I feel like that's why they put it in. I'm happy for them. I think it was a nice proposal.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I'm happy.
But like,
I feel like they like each other. They've also, they were part of the season a couple episodes ago. Like they were on the date with Conor actually. So it's fine that they were there. I just was like, I didn't really care that much just because I've already seen this content already. And I didn't really fully understand why it was part of it. But if you're saying just to remind people that love does exist in Bachelor Nation and like, you know, just to, you know, look at this happy success story. So yes, I can see if that being the narrative. So as of July 4th, there's like this video of Tashia and Zach like playing with family on the beach. Like it doesn't look to me like people that are broken up 2 weeks ago.
No, it was because they weren't commenting on each other's social media for a while. And then people were acting like, oh my God, have they broken up? Are they just not announcing it? And like kind of analyzing their whereabouts from their stories and all this stuff. And then I think either she posted or he did, or made a comment. I can't remember. Just about like saying that they don't need all of their life and relationship to play out constantly online and kind of keep more of it offline, which I understand. So I think they're like just choosing to not have their relationship be as exposed on social media, and people were reading into it as them being broken up, but it seems like they're totally good based on what they've said themselves. So I don't know, but they are together from what I know.
But it would have been a good idea, maybe, if they're doing this whole segment with Caitlyn and Jason, like, why wouldn't they maybe give her a mini after
or
the
an
final
update?
rose? Yeah, what's going on with you and Zach now? Like, she did talk about Zach at the beginning of that little episode. It would have been nice to see a little sit down with her and Zach and have Caitlin facilitate a little bit of a convo of what's going on in their life. So that's
Zach
a missed opportunity.
Did go visit her there. He did go visit her there while she was filming at some point. So I wonder, maybe he just doesn't want to film. I don't know. Like, maybe he's just
he doesn't necessarily see like the TV type. I can see that.
You know.
Hi, Natalie. So I still don't get this, Eric, Cody, and Aaron. Would they let Andrew be the Bachelor even though he hasn't talked about his controversial tweets? Interesting.
I would say that they are considering him because today he released an apology for his controversial tweets, which leads me to believe that they are kind of like having him as a potential and kind of pushed him to release this apology to kind of like get on top of that, even though it's been like so long, whereas like Justin like apologized right away when his stuff came out. Andrew's just now speaking up about it. So I do think that they're kind of like, we got to clean it up. Like, you're being considered, so you better do some damage control because you've got these tweets out. And then
where did he make the apology?
I think I read it on Reddit. Let me find.
You read it on Reddit? I don't see it on his Instagram. It's not there.
No, it was like in a on a website.
Okay, I'll look it up if I can.
I'll figure it out.
No problem. I'd never seen another proposal as a permanent part of the season. Never seen what? Sorry, what are we talking about?
He said it to ET Online, sorry, Entertainment Tonight, is where Andrew says he's embarrassed by his past offensive tweets.
I didn't even see his specifically. I only ever saw Justin's, but
his are not great.
Yes, Natalie, we did see the announcement, and we both think that the guys are actually good looking. More majority good looking. I believe it's about 50% people of color, which is also really interesting. And I was joking, it's like, well, it's perfect because like the Bachelorette's half black, half white, so at least half of them is going to be supporting, some backgrounds.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward more so to her season because we know she's engaging. We know that she was able to have a really good conversation for her first date with Matt James, and he's so wooden. Like, the fact that she could have a good conversation with him gives me hope that she'll have a lot of really great conversations with a lot of people, and that it will just be a good time. I feel like she's going to use it in a way that's a good time, and I like her vibe more. And we got to know her more than we got to know Katie. And so I'm way more excited for her season. I'm happy that she's going to be able to travel a little bit more because of the timing of it. So I think it definitely worked out better that she's having her season in the at the end of the summer.
She seems like a real one. She seems like she actually has friends outside of Bachelor Nation. I just like Michelle, and I really hope that her season is good. I'm worried for any lead because honestly, I feel like it kind of makes that person go wild, as we discussed, or like have a moment where they break down. So I feel like, as with any lead, there will be moments that will be not great, but I hope that she's able to like overall have a satisfying season. And I hope these guys are good, honestly.
I know. I'm excited to do our like cast assessment about them. Like that's actually the draft is what's been holding us together, even though like I'm already pretty much completely out of it. Well, no, I am completely out of it because I don't have anybody left that's in the running, so there's no way I can win. But like, it did make it interesting doing the draft pick and watching their journey. So I will be proposing that we do this, but maybe we'll put a wager on this one this time around.
Yeah, put money on it.
Michelle's season. So when are our past tweets coming out? I don't think I have anything weird because I was definitely an adult when Twitter happened. So I don't really use Twitter.
I technically have an account, but I don't have like any tweets really. I think I've been held more to the fire for some comments I've made on this podcast, on this channel more so. So yeah, I don't know. That will speak for itself.
I know. I'm thinking like on Facebook, maybe like
me, like.
I did get
sure.
like,
I don't know. I have Facebook.
in the beginning, right? Well, like I used to like actually allow people to irritate me on Facebook, so I don't think I'd ever say anything racist or like prejudice. I don't think I've ever done anything like that, but maybe calling some people out for being idiots. I might have. I don't know. We'll see. But if I were ever to go on any of these shows, I would get a social media scrubber and like, can you just go through my social media and scrub it for me? Because I don't know if there's anything. I don't think there's anything, but like I'm sure these people didn't think that there was anything that people could find as well. So
sure.
So that's. I'm happy with the guys, the Jamaican guys, and no, I don't remember what the Jamaican guy looks like. Well, I'm gonna look after. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm excited to see those guys. When does that start? When does the Bachelorette start?
In the fall.
Oh, October. It's end of October. Yes. Never mind. Bachelor in Paradise, though, is starting in a couple weeks, which I'm pumped about. I don't know if we should do a draft or what about that, or how you want to maybe format that, or if you're even interested in talking about it. But I'm actually looking forward to that because it's just going to be lighter. It's going to be people that we like or don't like. It's going to be drama. It's going to be silly. It's going to have all these new hosts that are going to be idiots, like in a fun way. Like David Spade, he's going to be so silly. Like Little John, he's going to be ridiculous.
I forgot about all these wacky hosts. Oh,
right?
Yeah.
It's going to be. It's just going to be entertaining and fun. So we can maybe find a way to do some points allotting maybe for, I don't know, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we got to come up with a concept for it, for sure.
Good question, Natalie. Why wasn't Mike P at the Men's Tell All?
He's probably like, why the hell would I go there? This just made fun of me for the entire season and like made me look like I was a cult leader and also like in love with my mom. So
True. So
like, does he want to rehash that? He seems to be like self-aware. I will say I listened to him commenting on that. I think it was on his Instagram or something. And he does seem aware that like he came across the way he came across on the show, but also to be like, I think he said he was a flawed person. And I was like, you know what, this guy, I know I really came for him last week.
Yeah,
and it's because I was really uncomfortable. And I stand by that, but I don't think Mikey P is a bad guy, you know?
No, I don't either. And like they just put him in a situation that made him look not great at all for the enjoyment of the viewership. Yeah. Thank you, BP. And so Michelle's season of The Bachelorette will premiere Tuesday, October 19th on ABC. Tuesday. Interesting. Is it going to be an all Tuesday type deal? Why is that? Is there Dancing with the Stars on Monday? Like why Tuesday?
Random. Maybe they're trying a different day out. Maybe they got moved off the Monday for performing so poorly.
I wonder what Michelle will do for Halloween. Like, does she love Halloween? Is Halloween on a Tuesday? I love Halloween, so hopefully she dresses up. So Katie comes on to join the chat. She gets in the hot seat, and they ask her about Michael A. And she's like, I can't dwell on like my relationship with Michael. I can only just like move forward to see like what my relationship is with these guys. And I'm just like, Katie, you're not saying anything. Like, next. So Katie calls Aaron Thomas. What was that about?
I felt okay. Like it felt like kind of like a microaggression. Like I actually don't know what Aaron's like background is, so I don't want to assume. But I'm like, did she actually just miss these two people up? Like, huh? Like that was really weird and very awkward. And I understand that people make mistakes, but that was a Freudian slip that was like really out there. So I don't know. But I was shocked. I was like, what? Oh my God. She must have felt extremely embarrassed for doing that. Or I'd hope she did.
I wasn't watching, and then I just saw like all the reactions, like, so I'm like, what happened? So like I went and I rewound it, and I was like, oh, that's not great that you mix up two light skinned people of color.
Potentially, because
I don't not know that it was not Thomas, or like what happened there? What happened with like what was on your brain? I'm trying to see if he has any picture with family.
It's more so like not that she like, that's why I was thinking like a more microaggression thing where it's like she didn't even realize like that's how her brain went about it. And then it kind of just got exposed in the worst possible situation was kind of how I felt. And I was just like, okay, yeesh. And so like he played it while he was like, you're good. But like that was weird. That was a very weird moment.
like it could also be that like, you know, Aaron was a part of all the drama as well, and maybe they knew that the next segment was going to be about Thomas. So there could be a lot of ways to rationalize like why she did it, but I think most likely it's a microaggression, to be fair. I think that holds water for me. Man, I want to see like his family. Is that his brother maybe? Who are these people?
I wonder what his background actually is. I don't want to assume anything because I actually didn't know, and maybe he's just like very, very tanned, but I wasn't sure.
I've always just assumed that he was mixed race in some capacity. Same with Thomas. I don't know if it was black and white or like Dominican and white, or you know, but I just felt that he was ethnic. I have another friend that says like, no, Thomas is white. I'm like no, like he's actually not for sure. Like there's no way. But Aaron, I would say would be more likely to not be mixed over Thomas, in my opinion. But I don't see. He doesn't have any pictures with family. There we go. Okay. So, no, he is mixed. It looks like he might be Southeast Asian.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. I have no idea, like, from the photo. But, yeah, okay. I was curious just because I didn't want to assume anything. But I also felt maybe like that was like part of it.
Mom is from wherever, and maybe his dad is white. His Clancy is not a very ethnic name, I would assume. So he's mixed with Southeast Asian. Okay, that's my guess. That's a good combo. That makes sense to me. I can see that.
Do you feel like they made all of the guys give Katie some kind of praise, and then like the dryness of what he like it got to Aaron and he was like, oh shit, like I didn't really have any moments with Katie, so I'm just gonna say like this really dry response, and then that's how she views Thomas, is like a dry person that she doesn't like. So she was like, thank you, because even the way she said thank you I thought was so like, and she was like, thank you, Thomas, and I was just like, wait, what's going on here? Like, why are we doing this? Are we all going around? Like, what?
Just make her feel like she was like a great bachelorette. I could not tell if it was an accident or on purpose. Yeah, I just didn't know what was happening. Could she have been teasing Aaron? I don't think she's that witty in that way. And like it looks bad. If she was teasing him, it looks bad because it comes across as like she just can't tell people of color apart, and like it just doesn't look great. So
she's also been getting roasted for like a lot of different things, like not knowing, you know, any countries in Africa other than South Africa. And then like Maggie like responded to her to tell her some countries, and then she responded to Maggie in like a kind of like rude, like very like condescending tone, which people didn't like. I don't think that she's, you know, I don't want to defend her behavior. She's a human adult who can defend herself, but I think she's maybe more sheltered than they've projected her image onto us of, because they're trying to sell her as this woke person. I don't know that she actually is as with it as they tried to make her seem, you know? I think maybe she actually has less experience with people of color, or like, I don't know what the situation is in her upbringing, but like she's not as like hip to understand what's going on as they would like us to believe.
Yeah, basically. I agree with that. She's not as like multicultural and know what's going on really as much as as they want us to believe. 100%. I agree with that. Conor has one more song. I rolled my eyes again. Yeah, I think there's going to be like an eye roll counter from moving forward on the franchise. Like, how many times do I roll my eyes? We should do like an over or under. So then Thomas on the screen. They didn't give him a lot of screen time, actually, which was really funny. I was wondering why he didn't show up there, but maybe he just didn't want to be roasted by the guys and doesn't care that much. And so he probably gets his appearance fee whether he's in person or not. So I don't know. It's probably like a boss move to be like, I don't even care to be there, but they want me to be on this show. So they're giving me a full segment, even though I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to come. You guys didn't treat me that well. So I didn't really understand this whole interaction because like Katie said, because he was like, I just want to know what happened. Like, I thought that we were in an okay place after our conversation, just like we did in the audience. We're just like, okay, well, like he's probably sticking around. And then she goes and she pulls the rudest like dismissal of somebody that she didn't really let him know that she didn't buy what he was saying or that she thought that he was being calculated, whatever. And then she says when he asked her this question is like, well, I was feeling certain ways and I've been feeling like this for a little while. And if you felt bad about the way that like I sent you home, I'm sorry. What? It just glazed over. Nobody even called her out on that. Like, she had no reason. She said that what did she call him? Name called him. She's saying that like you're a liar. How do you know you're a liar?
Unkind.
Unkind. How does unkind? So you're gonna be to show how unkind he is, you're gonna be even more unkind? Like what? Tit for tat? Like I thought you're woke here. And she didn't really defend it, in my opinion, to him in a way that I would feel good about it. And he just accepted her apology. I think he just didn't care. But like I wouldn't have.
I think that's her ultimate defense mechanism is just like, well, too bad, I did it. So, oh well, sorry you feel that way. And it's like that's whatever. Like he was wondering what changed. Like that was what we were thinking too. To be like, what happened that this went down? The only explanation I've heard from her was on Nick's podcast, or maybe it was a different one, where she said that the way he talked about being the lead seemed more like that was his intention and not just like a possibility. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Or that she heard that he had been saying some negative things about the other guys. And it's like, okay, so then say that even. Like, I don't understand.
Well, I don't understand how all that deduced to him being a liar and unkind. Like none of these things, like these are all speculations. They would not hold up in a court of law. Like, you are completely deciding on someone's character about hearsay and not about actual fact. You do not know for a fact that he had no intention of building a relationship with you. Whether he does or he doesn't, it's not factual evidence. And if you're just like, listen, like, I just don't trust you anymore. From all the speculation and from what you're saying to me, it just didn't feel anymore that like I could trust you in our relationship and what you were saying to me. So I had to let you go. Okay, I'd be like, okay, fine. She did it in a bad way in that moment, but she's kind of double downing on the how, but like kind of half-ass apologizing. And I was like, I don't like how you handled this either, Katie, even though people are probably applauding you for this.
I don't know. I feel like a more mature person would just like not be rude like that. Like just articulate it nicer and move forward to be like, okay, fine. Like that's that. It's not that hard to rise above in that situation. So I just don't appreciate the approach. Honestly, I feel like it lacks maturity for me.
Agreed. So Natalie wants to know, is it possible that Katie was drunk?
I don't know. She just seems
a glass of champagne or two.
She just seems checked out.
Yeah, like she's probably done talking about everything that she does in her season and like, having to face everybody online. Tamika said that she did the same thing to Chelsea. So, what did she say to Chelsea? I don't remember.
She said at the Women Tell All that the hate that the girls like Chelsea were getting online was their karma. That was just their karma, and they should just be able to handle it and deal with it.
Well, good. She's going to get what she said. Her karma for that comment and for how she acted on this show, because I know she has millions of people that are obsessed with her, but she also has millions of people that can't stand her. So that's her karma as well.
That's her karma. Yeah, by her logic, by her own logic, then that's just her karma, and she has to deal with it.
So Thomas, no, you know what? I'm happy that Thomas came on because to me he looked like the bigger person, and he just accepted the apology. He didn't get involved in any of these petty fights. He apologized for the fact that anything that he may have said, it may have felt that he wasn't there for her and may have upset her. I thought that was a nice thing to say, whether he meant it or not. I don't care. He got his paycheck, and he gets to never talk to Katie ever again if he doesn't want to. I'm down with that.
He decorated that blank white wall. He put some foliage back there, a ladder, a blanket draped over. He, knew that he just had to show up for that, and he did his thing. But he came out looking better, honestly.
I agree. So I was proposing to Tanya this, and I want to know, BB and Tamika, Natalie, do you agree with me here that between Andrew S., Michael A., and Thomas, that I think that Thomas would make the best Bachelor out of the three? What do you guys think? Tell me. So that's all I pretty much wrote. I apologize why everything ended, whatever, and if I caused any pain, blah, blah. So I liked how he was fine for me. Then there's some bloopers that I didn't watch, really. I didn't really care about seeing people, like, swat flies and, like, trip out of the frame. Oh, like, sometimes I care about it, but I guess because I really just don't care about her that I didn't want to see any bloopers. Were there any Justin bloopers? I
can't remember. By that point, I was just like,
montage of Justin's face.
I normally like the bloopers, but I was so disengaged for this episode that I was just like, whatever, let's move along, which is unfortunate,
That's how I felt as well. I really was like, I was probably like cooking something and like, half watching. I don't hate Thomas. Do you think Andrew S is going to be a good? Oh, you didn't watch this last. He didn't really do a good job, in my opinion, in our opinion, actually, with his Bachelor interview audition on the Men Tell All. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. I like him though, but I wasn't feeling it. What did she do to Maggie? Basically, go ahead.
Shouldn't do anything to her per se, but basically Maggie made a video to her that I didn't think was being insulting, but some people online think was being insulting. But either way, she's just like, I'm Ethiopian, like you were on Matt's season, like he's also Nigerian. Like she was like actually like teaching her some countries in Africa because that had happened. And then Katie like made a video back that was like, hey Maggie, Katie here. And then just like kind of like talked about it in a way that was a tone that was like very, condescending in my interpretation of it. You could watch for yourself and see it's pretty cringe. I don't know if she deleted that, but it was just not a good look. It seemed like very catty and like not tonally great in response to Maggie, who I thought was being very gracious in sending that video and handling it much better than I would have. Because people had been messaging Maggie and being like, did you hear about this? Like, I feel like she felt the need to kind of address it in some way.
So I got so many DMs asking me about Katie's interview. A question if she knows the African countries and she didn't mention mine. Well, yes, we know each other. Hi, Katie. We eat together. We drink together. We farm together. Much like the same guy. Well, I'm subscribed from Ethiopia. Now you know. By the way, Matt is half Nigerian. So Nigeria, Ethiopia. Now you know two countries. If you need to know more, let me know. I'll teach you.
Like, I don't think that's like being rude personally. I think that's just how she is, but I don't know.
Okay, then I got the Katie addressing it. Hold on. Oh, it's so annoying.
As much as I'm embarrassed to do so. Maggie, hi. How you doing? Made a statement about how I know in Africa based on the podcast I did with Nick Vial. It really, I don't know what to say, wasn't anything more or less than just fear of looking stupid and not wanting to guess the wrong thing. I tried to just not answer the question. Some people are offended, called, even going as far as questioning if I'm an ally, which is really upsetting, to be honest. But anyway, short answer is I'm sorry. Like I'm stupid. I don't know what to tell you. Do I know countries in Africa? Sure. Do I know a lot of them? Probably not. Am I trying to learn literally all of them because I was mortified? As I was saying, was I mortified? Yes. Oh. I think about that interview often. So yeah, I mean, all I can do is apologize that I didn't name countries and truly admit I am wanting to learn all of them. It was truly just a moment of blanking out, stage fright, fear, like, I don't know what else to say, but I guess I have to acknowledge it at this point. That's the least I can do to, for Meg, these two is my housemate during that season, so.
Like, the discrepancy between what Maggie sent her and her response, like, whoa.
I mean, and why she should be so embarrassed. But like I can understand though being like nervous and like just like forgetting. Like I always think of like, oh my god, if I was ever on The Amazing Race and I had to put flags on all the African countries, like I would not know. It'd be something that I would need to study. And it is hard to like do like, oh my god, where is that? Oh my god, like I might say something silly, but how I would respond would be a little bit different than Katie. I'd be like, oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. I'm sure that I know more countries than this, but like I'm just nervous and whatever. Like I'm so sorry. You deserve to roast me. Like it's embarrassing. Like I know more. Like, that's all she really has to do is just like lead into the fact that she's embarrassed instead of being like, well, I don't know. Like I guess like people are just calling me out saying I'm like not an ally because like I don't know these things. I was nervous. Like how she was defending herself really was off-putting.
It's just centering and like feeling fragile about it, where it's like, just take the L and be like, yeah, I totally messed up. I really didn't know. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm trying to learn now. Like, I definitely do know more countries, but yeah, that was bad. I appreciate the feedback. I'll take that on board. Like, don't be sassy like that in that way, like so defensive. It's not cute. It's not a good look. It doesn't feel like you're a good ally. I'm sorry. Like,
it makes me feel like ingenuine and that like you're only like you didn't do the work, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, it made me dislike her even more. Sorry, I still want Dr. Joe to be the next Bachelor. I'd take that. Thomas's season would probably bring the best ratings, more drama. Yep. Like the girls would be clawing their like eyes out to get to Thomas. Like he would have a lot of drama, I think. Neither Katie, but here we are. It was so sweet. Yeah, absolutely. I thought that Maggie's post was pretty sweet. She took it personally. It's whack. I hope next year we get the Bachelor first. I'm sure we get the Bachelor like the new year, like December or January. I remember that Nick had called this segment "Do We Know You" on a podcast, and Katie was asked if she could be 5 countries in Africa, something like that. I mean, I don't even know if I probably could, but like I can see myself being nervous and just being like mind goes blank. But
you would know more than South Africa. Like
I wouldn't even say
know
South
more
Africa.
than just South Africa. Like
I wouldn't. I'm
not expecting her to know the
Africa.
entire map of Africa and every single country. I don't know every single country in Africa off the top of my head, but like you know more than South Africa is the only thing that you say. But I think that was compounded also with the fact that she said that her favorite movie was The Help. That was another thing that she was getting very dragged for, which is like you can make your own judgments on that.
Well, definitely that's not the movie to be saying is your favorite movie, Katie. Not a good look. No. Not a good look. All she had to say was, thank you, Maggie. I totally blanked and I touched base for more. LOL. Also, Maggie has been bringing awareness for what's happening in Ethiopia. So go follow her. Oh, thank you,
yes,
Tamika. Absolutely.
That's true. That's but Katie could have also said that using her platform as well. Like Katie could have actually addressed that within, and that would have been a really smart way of like actually being an ally.
Do you know that like I couldn't even watch The Help? Like the fact that it was getting all this Oscar buzz and everything. I'm like, I was so furious. Like I haven't even watched it in its entirety. And I'm just like, I can't even. It was bad.
Also in 2021 to be like, that's my fave movie is like I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, we still were able to squeeze an hour and 22 minutes out of this like garbage episode. Obviously, I like talking about all these silly things with you and with BB and with Tamika, Natalie, and Fearfully and Wonderfully Made. And if I missed anybody, it was really nice to have you here as well. Hold on. Oh my God, she said her favorite movie was The Help. Yes, BB.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Did she think that was being like an ally by saying that? Because like supporting like seeing Black people on screen? Like what did she say? Like 12 Years a Slave. Like favorite movie, 12 Years a Slave. Yeah, that was a good one. Like maybe most moving, but yeah, that's what I say.
It's a wild choice. It's a wild choice.
I don't remember what happened in the Help. I didn't see it.
I don't think I've ever seen it honestly. I don't think I've ever seen it honestly. I've seen scenes from it, but I genuinely haven't watched that movie. I
agree. I don't think I've seen the whole thing in its entirety either. And I probably won't, even though
I'll pass.
Got a lot of buzz. So are you working on anything that you want the people to help see you with or follow you at or any of that jazz?
Well, just the usual.
Just
but
the
follow me
usual.
if you want to.
Great. Yes, follow Tanya and follow us here at Reality Realness with 3 S's. We're just trying to build a community of people that like talking about this Bachelor Nation as much as we do. So thanks again, everybody in the chat. If you want to leave your comments below, what do you think of this men's tell all? What do you think about Katie's response to Thomas? Do you agree with me that Thomas would probably be a great Bachelor over some of the other potential candidates? Please let me know what your thoughts are. I will be responding to them as they are made. And I guess other than that, we'll see you next week for more Bachelorette content. Talk to you soon. Bye. Bye.